Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about our raised garden beds. You can see them over my shoulder behind me. We have to use raised garden beds in Colorado Springs because the soil here is so bad. Most of our soil is like gravel and it's just tough to grow anything in it. So we do use the raised beds. We build deep beds with really good soil, and we build the soil on site. We don't bring it in. So we use the lasagna layering method of soil building. We use straw, we use composted chicken manure, we use composted rabbit manure, and those are from our chickens and our rabbits. And we've been building the soil in these beds now for about 2 or 3 years, depends on the bed. Some are a little older than others. The soil, when you get down in it, is beautiful and black. It holds a lot of water, has a ton of nutrients in it, and the plants are pretty happy in that soil. Now you may ask why we have the raised beds if we have a greenhouse and an aquaponics system that we can grow in. The raised beds are for our more deeply rooted plants. They do better in the raised beds. For instance, our Swiss chard seems to do better with the deep, the beet root. They're a member of the beet family. So they have a deep taproot. They do really well, as do the onions, the carrots. We have leeks in these beds, and some of the plants that spread out a little bit more than we are comfortable with inside the greenhouse. So these are a secondary growing system. We are able to grow in these beds year round. We can put plastic on the beds for the fall and the winter and the spring. We actually put greenhouse glazing over these hoops, and we can actually grow 4 seasons here, which is a pretty nice trick in Colorado Springs. So on our raised beds, we use what's called a French chenille hoop system. This is a very old method developed by the French gardeners, who incidentally are some of the best in the world. The French chenille system is named after a caterpillar. Chenille actually means caterpillar because when these are out in the fields, from a distance, they look like giant caterpillars. The secret to these chenille hoop houses is to have a rigid arched structure underneath, and over the top, laced crisscross the top, is this taut string. The tension between the pole pushing up and the string pushing down keeps this material in place. If you don't have either one of those, the system falls apart. If a string breaks, this whole thing collapses. So you've got to have tension from the bottom pushing up and tension from the top pushing down. What that does is it creates a space in between that holds the material in a semi-rigid fashion. So you can move them up just like a shade, you can move them right back down. So in the winter, when we have the greenhouse glazing on, we have it all the way to the boards, and we put it all the way down, and it seals just like a little greenhouse. And then if we get a hot day, which we sometimes do in Colorado, the winter temperatures can be in the 60s, we can raise these back up, open it up, and cool it down so we don't burn any of the plants inside. So when the season changes from spring to summer, we have a transition from semi-cool to very hot. This year in June, it was 101 for almost a week, and that did a lot of damage to people's gardens. This system with this shade cloth allows us to pull the shade cloth down when it's really hot and we have baby plants in this bed to protect them from the sun. As they get older, or if it's overcast like it is today, we can open these back up and they can get as much sun as they need. When you're building your raised beds, you need to consider what the bed is actually going to be made out of. Whatever you build your bed out of, it potentially can leach into the soil and then into your food. So you want something that is pretty inert and isn't going to interact in any way. Wood is a great choice, especially rot-resistant wood. Porcelain is a good choice. Plastic is also a good choice if you have plastic laying around. Old bins, old bathtubs, old basins, those types of things also work really well. Be sure to attach the ribs of your bed to the inside of whatever type of material you're using, and also consider putting down a wire screen on the bottom of the raised bed. It keeps out the moles and the voles and the gophers. All right, folks, if you have questions about building raised beds, please shoot me an email or leave a comment below. I'll be happy to share anything else that I know. If you have information that could help all of us out there working with our raised beds, please also leave that in the comments section. We'd love to hear from you. So thanks again, everybody, and we will see you next time.